Greetings and thank you so much for joining this session. My name is Tornike Zirakishvili and I'm the Deputy Director for Enterprise Georgia, and today I have the chance to present to you a great investment destination that is the country of Georgia. So getting started, Georgia is a small country on the crossroads between Europe and Asia. But a few things that you might not know about this country: we actually are number 7th easiest place to do business in the world in accordance to World Bank. At the same time, we're actually number 3 least tax burden country in the world, and we also have free trade agreements with a market that has about 2.3 billion population. So Georgia is quite a dynamic economy. Over the past years, our economy has been steadily growing, and you can see some key indicators at the bottom here. A few numbers that I want to pay attention to is numbers for FDI for the past 5 years, which we've been able to attract about $7 billion worth of foreign direct investments to the country over the past 5 years. And at the same time, right there in the middle, you will see the share of green investments. And you can see that that number has been around 45% for the past 5 years, again showcasing that not only are we open to foreign investors to come in, but when investors come in, they actually end up trusting in the country and actually expanding into the country further. Being a dynamic economy and having a business-friendly environment is also reflected in our international rankings. So on the slide here, you're going to see that in accordance to OECD, Georgia is one of the least restrictive countries for FDI. So we actually rank number 8th right now. So this means that the country is open to foreign companies and to foreign investments. At the same time, in accordance to Trace Matrix, Georgia ranks as number 1 with least need for businesses to interact with the government. So this reflects again on the freedom of the business and the economy in the country. This is of course backed up by Heritage Foundation's Index of Economic Freedom, which places Georgia on the 12th position in the world. At the same time, Georgia is a very European-minded country, so we do have an association agreement and a free trade agreement with the EU. So what does this actually mean to be the 7th easiest place to do business in the world? Well, there's few advantages, but we really want to showcase this through this graph where we compared Georgia to the OECD high-income countries. And what we can see is that for every single activity operating from Georgia, you actually are going to be saving time and you're going to be saving paperwork, of course leading to more efficiencies. So just for example, starting a business in Georgia takes 1 day, as well as registering a property in Georgia just takes 1 day. And if you compare it to some of the other OECD high-income countries, it's going to be quite a difference. The same thing for getting a construction permit, getting electricity, as well as time to export. So all of these advantages pave the way for a more efficient operation from Georgia. As already mentioned, Georgia has free trade agreements with a market that covers about 2.3 billion people. Of course, this creates incredible opportunities for companies operating out of Georgia because they can benefit from free trade agreements with China, with the European Union, with neighboring countries. We've just concluded a free trade agreement with the UK, and negotiations are on the way to conclude a free trade agreement with India as well, adding another 1.3 billion to the existing 2.3 billion population that we cover. Of course, we know that beyond the attractive business climate and the connectivity in terms of free trade agreements, investors are looking for talented and professional individuals to support their operations in countries. And Georgia, of course, delivers in this regard as well. We have more than 60 higher education institutions and more than 65 vet colleges, which provide a steady pool of talented individuals who are ready for work for different types of companies in different areas. As you can see in the breakdown of the charts that we provided, there's a quite diverse set of different professions and activities that these individuals pick and choose to operate in. At the same time, for the past 5 years, the country has delivered about 120,000 professionals which have bachelor's, master's, and other professional degrees. What is very important about Georgia is that this type of talent pool is accessible at a very competitive rate. As you can see on this slide here, we've showcased average monthly salaries for skilled production operators and customer service operators, for example, in the BPO sector, and both remain to be extremely competitive. At the same time, we have a very flexible labor code. So right now we rank 22nd in the world, which again showcases that employers and employees can come to agreement about different aspects of their employment between each other. Not only is Georgia competitive in terms of delivering skilled labor force at a competitive rate, but we also are competitive on numerous other aspects of operation. As you can see on the slide, we've benchmarked Georgia against other countries, and again, in terms of electricity costs, industrial gas, as well as water costs, Georgia is going to be much more cost efficient. At the same time, our energy is quite green. We actually have renewable energy sources for about 80% of our energy supply. You're going to find cost efficiency opportunities for your industrial property needs as well. So whether you're looking to rent one of this type of properties, the availability is there. At the same time, the cost is quite competitive. Or if you want to construct one of this type of properties from different materials, again, the prices and the costs you're going to find are going to be much lower than in other countries. I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation that Georgia is the third least tax burden country in the world. So what does this mean in terms of your operation? Well, on one side, you're going to find a simplified tax regime with easy operation. And on the second part, of course, you're going to find one of the lowest taxes anywhere in the world. Just to give you an example, personal income tax in Georgia is just 20%, and there's no social contribution or social tax on top of this. The only additional thing that the employer has to pay is a 2% pension contribution. On the other side, things like property tax is less than 1%. On top of all of this, corporate profit tax, if it's retained or reinvested, it actually is equal to zero, so there's no corporate profit tax if you retain or reinvest your profits. On top of all of this, we actually have additional incentives for investors. The country has 4 free industrial zones which offer additional tax incentives. At the same time, we've created an FDI grants program which offers investors in eligible sectors which invest more than $3 million and hire 150 people to be eligible for a $300,000 grant in terms of cashback rebate. At the same time, for sectors such as IT, we offer international company status, which allows them to lower their profit tax and personal income tax for their employees down to 5%. With this final thoughts, I just want to thank you all for taking your time to be with us during this session, for your interest in Georgia. And again, as the main investment attraction agency of the country, we're glad to cooperate with you and we'll be more than happy to support you in Georgia. Thank you so much.